Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to walk through the fight with Magus in Wuchang Fallen Feathers. I've got a build that I used that worked out pretty well for this boss, so if you are struggling to get through her, hopefully this will help you out. Starting off, I'll go through the build and all of the equipment and items and whatnot that I used, and then we'll get into the actual fight. Alright, so starting off with my equipment, I've got my Lashing Whip Longsword to +9, which is what I'll be using as my primary weapon. And then taking a look at my armor, so she does kind of throw out a variety of different like magic type attacks. So what I try to do is just kind of go through all of my armor and build out kind of a balanced mitigation across all of the different magic based elements. So like feathering magic, lightning, fire. So this is what I came up with, and it seemed to mitigate the damage quite a bit during this fight. But I've got Feng Yao's hairband, the delicate armor, the Zhenwu bracers, and then the clerical waistcloth. So if you take a look at my stats here over in the bottom right corner, you can see across all of the various resistances, I've got a kind of a nice balance. Excluding burn was a little bit low, but general idea, just trying to get a nice amount of resistance across all those different attacks, and it seemed to work out pretty well. So that was my armor, and then for my pendants, you do kind of have to chase her around a little bit, so I kind of went with stamina. So I've got this Twin Infant pendant for stamina recovery speed, and then the Dragonfish pendant for increasing my maximum stamina. And then I also have this Sun pendant to increase the potencies of spells. So, and related to that, kind of the main player on the spell front is going to be this Echo of the Bow Sorcerer, which you get after defeating Bow Sorcerer. And this is really effective with building up Frost on her and going to do a nice, really big chunk of frostbite damage when that builds up. So you'll see that during the fight. But that's kind of my setup on the equipment front. And again, looking at my stats, I was level 77, but I'll just kind of show you a quick glance at all of my stats for this fight. And then taking a look at the skill allocation for my build. So a couple important callouts here going down the tree. The first being the Frozen Veil upgrade to increase the frostbite buildup when I cast that Echo of the Bow Sorcerer spell. And then kind of in combination with that, which ended up working really well for this build, was the Leech needle on my weapon. So this will replenish your health when you're attacking, which ended up working out really well. I hadn't really used this needle up until now, but that'll allow me to be really aggressive with my light attack combos, which will then build up Skyborn Might, which then I can use to cast more Bow Sorcerer. So I'll kind of demonstrate that as we go through the fight, but those two things were kind of the main aspects of the build that ended up working out really well. And then going down the rest of the tree, I've got, sort of the obvious upgrades with Acupoint and Temper Charges, Mana Vase upgrades, obviously. There's some +5 magics and stuff that I grab up here. And then for the rest of the tree, kind of now at the late game, you've got a lot of extra levels to use. So going around the other weapon categories and getting some of these like +5 stats that you can get. But as mentioned, I'm using the longsword, so kind of the main aspects there are the Sword Saint to build up Skyborn Might on the light attack combo, Wind Force to do quick heavy charge attacks, and then also Sword Master for additional Skyborn Might while doing those light attack combos. And then as mentioned, +9 on the weapon, so I've got my Strong Blade upgrades, and then just kind of filling out the rest of the tree, grabbing more stat points and making sure I get all these +5s and whatnot. So that's kind of the skill allocation for the build. And then looking at my temper, you can see I've got my Leech Needle equipped there, Strength Needle, and then I've got my Continuity Needle for increasing the duration of temper, and then also the Plumed Needle for increasing the effectiveness of that needle. And then finally, wrapping things up with my Benediction, you can see the 3 that I have equipped there as well. So Backstab, Obliteration Might, and Combo Force. So that's kind of the main build, or aspects of the build. So now we'll go through and walk through the fight. So starting from the shrine, as you make your way down the path to the boss, you can use some of these enemies to farm Skyborn Might with Sword Saint and Sword Master. Try and get up to a full 5 stacks before entering the arena, as this is going to allow you to immediately cast Echo of Bow Sorcerer. So when you're ready, temper your sword with Leech and then head inside to get that first cast of the spell off. This may or may not be enough to fill her frostbite meter for you. In this case, I was a bit short, but either way, charge forward right after that and begin hitting her with a light attack combo. As mentioned, with that Leech Needle, you can be pretty aggressive, and even though I take some damage, I'm quickly able to refill my health, and then also have enough Skyborn Might to do a follow-up spell cast, which then gets me that big frostbite damage hit. Again, being super aggressive after that cast, you can see I'm taking some damage, but my health just gets refilled back to full again as I do more light attack combos while also replenishing my Skyborn Might. This also then staggers her as I'm continuing to hit her, so I go in for an Obliterate, which now has her down to half health already. By this point, you should see 2 additional moves that she does. First, she's going to cast the shield around her, which protects her from damage until it's broken. But then she also goes into this giant area of effect attack, which can be easily avoided by just running to the back corner of the arena.
Judgment, by divine decree, they fall.
As that completes, I reactivate my temper just to make sure that leech effect doesn't deplete while I'm fighting, and then go in to destroy her shield. So, as mentioned, this makes her immune from damage and appears to stay active until you actually destroy it, so it's definitely something you want to focus on. Using Echo of the Bow Sorcerer won't do any damage, but it is pretty effective at destroying that shield as well. But given I didn't have any Skyborn Might, I just went in and used my sword instead. However, after those attacks, I did have enough Skyborn Might for another cast of Bow Sorcerer, which ends up getting her down to about a quarter health after that Frostbite hit. And then I just kind of finish her off using the same strategy. So I'll let the rest of the fight play out from here. Give this build a try. Let me know if it works for you. Hopefully it helps. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Let the heretics suffer judgment. By divine decree, they fall.